Have you ever walked into a room full of familiar faces only to feel a strange shift in the air? People smile politely, but something just feels off. Maybe the conversations drift away from you, or you sense that people aren't as warm as they once were. It's easy to brush it off, thinking it's just in your head, but sometimes there are little habits we pick up over time, without even realizing it, that can quietly push people away. Because after 60, relationships matter more than ever. Friendships, family ties, even simple social interactions can lift us up, keep us sharp, and make every day feel a little brighter. So if there's anything we can do to protect and nourish those bonds, it's worth a closer look. One of the first habits that tends to slip in quietly is complaining too much without realizing it. It's natural. We've lived a lot of life, and with it comes aches, frustrations, losses, and changes that aren't always easy. Talking about what's on your mind is healthy, but when every conversation starts to revolve around what's wrong, the weather, politics, health, kids these days, people begin to feel drained. They may start pulling back, not because they don't care, but because every interaction leaves them feeling heavier. It's not about pretending everything's perfect, it's about mixing in hope, humor, curiosity, things that remind others and ourselves that life is still rich with good moments too. And that leads into another sneaky habit, interrupting or dominating conversations without noticing. Sometimes when we have so much life experience, it feels natural to jump in and share advice, stories, or solutions, but to the listener, especially younger ones, it can sometimes feel like they aren't really being heard. You know that feeling when you're talking to someone and it seems like they're just waiting for their turn to speak? It's frustrating, isn't it? We never want to become that person without realizing it. A simple shift, pausing, asking questions, really listening, can make all the difference. It shows respect, it shows interest, and it draws people closer instead of pushing them away. Another quiet habit that can creep up is holding on to negativity or grudges. Over the years, we all experience hurt, sometimes deep hurt, that's hard to forget. But clinging to those old wounds can spill into everyday conversations. Maybe it shows up as bitterness when we talk about the past, or a sharp comment that takes others by surprise. Over time, people may start to feel uncomfortable, not knowing when an old resentment might surface. Forgiveness isn't about forgetting what happened, it's about freeing ourselves and protecting our future relationships from being colored by the pain of the past. And sometimes the distance isn't caused by what we say, but what we don't say. After a certain age, it's easy to assume that the people in our lives know how we feel about them, but the truth is everyone still needs encouragement, everyone still needs to feel appreciated. If we rarely offer compliments, expressions of gratitude, or simple kindness, relationships can quietly wither. It's never too late to brighten someone's day with a few genuine words, and often that light comes shining right back to us. These are just small shifts, but their impact is enormous. We all want to be the kind of person people are happy to see walk into a room, not the one who makes others look for the nearest exit. And it's absolutely within our power, no matter our age, to keep growing, improving, and spreading warmth to everyone around us. Another habit that quietly creeps in is always needing to be right. It's tempting, isn't it? After decades of experiences, of lessons learned the hard way, it can feel like we know better, or at least know more. And often we do. But when conversations turn into little battles of who's right and who's wrong, even over small things, it can make others pull away. They might not say anything out loud, but inside they start feeling defensive, unheard, or even belittled. In the end, being right isn't nearly as important as staying connected. Sometimes letting a small disagreement go, or saying you might be right, can be a powerful gift, not just to them, but to ourselves too. Along those same lines, there's the habit of being overly critical without meaning to. It often comes from a good place, wanting to help, to protect, to steer someone in a better direction. But when comments are always focused on what's wrong, what needs fixing, or how someone could have done it better, it chips away at relationships. It's like a slow drip on a stone. Over time, people may start feeling like nothing they do is good enough around you. A shift here can be as simple as looking for something right before pointing out something wrong. Starting with encouragement softens everything, and it keeps relationships thriving instead of strained. Now let's talk about something that sneaks up even more subtly, focusing too much on the past and losing touch with the present. Stories of the good old days are wonderful and important. They're part of who we are. But if conversations always drift back to what was and rarely touch on what is or what could be, it can create distance, especially with younger family members and friends. They want to feel like we're living alongside them, sharing the world of today, not just remembering yesterday, staying curious about current events, asking about their interests, learning new things, even if they're a little outside our comfort zone. It keeps us connected and shows that we're still very much a part of the living, breathing present. Another habit that's easy to fall into is neglecting self-care. You might wonder, what does that have to do with pushing people away? But the truth is, when we stop taking care of ourselves, our appearance, our health, our energy, people notice. And while true friends and family will love us no matter what, there's a quiet impact when we stop showing up for ourselves. It can make others worry. It can make interactions feel heavy instead of joyful. Taking time for even small acts of self-care isn't vanity. It's a way of saying, I'm still showing up. I still value this life, and I value you enough to bring my best to our time together. And finally, for this part of our conversation, there's the habit of isolating ourselves too much. Sometimes it happens by accident. A few missed invitations, a few I'm too tired nights, and suddenly the phone rings less and less. People start assuming we aren't interested, that we'd rather be left alone. The truth is, staying socially connected takes effort at any age, but after 60, it's even more important. Reaching out, saying yes more often, inviting others over, even if it's just for coffee. All these small acts keep the doors of friendship wide open. They remind others and ourselves that we're still very much part of the circle of life and love. Now, one more habit we need to talk about, and this one can be a little uncomfortable to hear, is being too stubborn to change or try new things. It's so easy to settle into routines that feel safe and familiar. And there's nothing wrong with loving the comforts of what we know. But when we become too rigid, too set in our ways, it can create a silent wall between us and the people around us. New ideas, new technology, even new ways of thinking can feel overwhelming or unnecessary. But showing even a little openness goes a long way. It signals that we're still growing, still adaptable, and still excited about life, and that's incredibly attractive to everyone at every age. Another habit that can unintentionally push people away is forgetting to express genuine interest in others' lives. It's easy sometimes to focus on our own stories, our own health, our own updates, but connection is a two-way street. When we ask about someone's day, celebrate their victories, or even just listen without rushing to add our own experience, it makes people feel valued. And there's something else we don't often talk about, allowing fear to shrink our world. As we age, it's normal to become a little more cautious. We know what's out there, we've lived through enough to understand real dangers, but if we let fear of getting hurt, of looking foolish, of being disappointed take over, it can make our lives and our relationships smaller and smaller. Saying no to new experiences, new friendships, or new adventures out of fear can leave us feeling isolated without even realizing it. It's not about ignoring caution, it's about balancing it with courage, trusting ourselves, trusting that the world still has beauty, kindness, and adventure waiting for us. The beautiful thing about all of these habits is that none of them are permanent. They aren't flaws, they aren't signs that we're broken or failing. They're simply patterns that can be noticed and gently shifted. A little more patience here, a little more curiosity there, a little more laughter, even when it's easier to complain. Small things that create a ripple effect in every relationship we touch. You have so much wisdom, so much life, so much love to offer, and the people around you want to feel that energy. They want to be drawn closer, not pushed away. Every small change we make not only strengthens our connections but also deepens our own sense of joy, purpose, and belonging. If any of this resonated with you today, know that you're not alone. We're all works in progress, no matter our age, and every day is another opportunity to choose connection, kindness, and growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you noticed any of these habits in your life or seen them in others? Let's keep the conversation going in the comments below. If you found this helpful, don't forget to give this video a like and make sure to subscribe. We're building a beautiful community here, and I'm so grateful you're a part of it. Here's to living with open hearts, open minds, and open arms, no matter our age. You deserve all the connection and joy life still has to offer.